The Fall of Baghdad, 1258 AD, a bloody chapter in Iraqi history. The history of Iraq is thousands of years old. This land, built in the Tigris-Euphrates river basin, is one of the oldest centers of human civilization. This region is the birthplace of civilizations such as Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, and Assyria. But the history of Iraq is not only one of glory, it also contains tragic stories of destruction, betrayal, bloodshed, and the fall of civilization. The most heartbreaking and historically significant event of all is the fall of Baghdad to the Mongols in 1258 AD. This is not a legend, but a real tragedy recorded in history, which changed the course of the medieval Muslim world forever. Baghdad, the city of knowledge. The capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, Baghdad was one of the most prosperous and learned cities in the medieval world. In the 8th century, Caliph al-Mansur founded this city on the banks of the Tigris River. Gradually, Baghdad became a center of science, philosophy, medicine, and literature. The Baitul Hikmah, or House of Wisdom, was established here, where Greek, Persian, and Indian books were translated into Arabic. The city was enlightened by the intellectual pursuits of scholars like the mathematician al-Khwarizmi, the philosopher al-Farabi, and the physician Ibn Sina. But over time, the Abbasid Caliphate weakened. Although political power was centralized, actual rule passed into the hands of various emirs and generals. Internal strife, corruption, and military weakness gradually weakened Baghdad. It was at this time that a formidable power, the Mongol Empire, emerged on the eastern horizon. Rise of the Mongols. Led by Genghis Khan, the Mongols conquered vast areas of Asia. Their tactics were brutal and effective. After capturing a city, they often carried out indiscriminate killings so that no one would dare to resist in the future. After Genghis Khan's death, his successors continued this expansion. In the mid-13th century, the ruler of the Mongol Empire was Hulagu Khan, who was responsible for the Middle East campaign. Hulagu's goal was to establish Mongol rule in Iran, Syria, and Mesopotamia. He destroyed many cities along the way and advanced towards Baghdad. At that time, the Caliph of Baghdad was al-Mustasim Billah, a pious but politically weak ruler. Bad decisions and betrayal. According to historians, one of the reasons for the fall of Baghdad was the bad decisions of Caliph al-Mustasim. He did not give the Mongol threat the proper importance. His chief advisor, Ibn al-Alqami, who was a Shia, is accused of deliberately misleading the Caliph. Although this is disputed, it is certain that Baghdad's defenses were extremely weak. The Caliph hoped for a diplomatic settlement with the Mongols. He thought that gifts and letters could keep Hulagu quiet. But to the Mongols, these were signs of weakness. In late 1257, Hulagu advanced on Baghdad with a large army. Siege and fall. In January 1258, the Mongol army besieged Baghdad. They took up positions on both banks of the Tigris River. The walls were weak, and the army was inexperienced. Within a few days, the Mongols broke through the defenses. The Caliph decided to surrender at the last minute. Baghdad officially fell on 10 February 1258. This was the beginning of one of the most horrific massacres in history. For several days, the Mongol soldiers killed indiscriminately. No man, woman, or child was spared. Historical sources say that several 100,000 people were killed. There are also descriptions that the water of the Tigris River turned red with blood. Destruction of knowledge. In addition to killing people, the Mongols destroyed the knowledge base of Baghdad. Numerous libraries, including the Baitul Hikmah, were looted and burned. Thousands of priceless manuscripts were thrown into the Tigris River. It is said that the river water turned black with the ink of the books. Although this may be a slight exaggeration, there is no way to deny the irreparable loss of knowledge that was caused. Through this destruction, the continuity of not only a city, but also a civilization was broken. Baghdad, the symbol of the Islamic Golden Age, never returned to its previous position.
The Caliph's end. Caliph al-Mustasim was imprisoned. The Mongols believed that something bad could happen if royal blood fell on the ground, so they wrapped the Caliph in a carpet and trampled him to death under the hooves of a horse, a story that can be found in many history books. This effectively ended the Abbasid Caliphate. Long-term effects. The fall of Baghdad had far-reaching effects. The balance of political power in the Middle East changed. Iraq remained unstable for a long time. Trade, agriculture, and the education system were destroyed. Although the Mamluks later defeated the Mongols in the Battle of Ain Jalut, by then Iraq had suffered irreparable damage. This event teaches a hard lesson in history, how internal weakness and misleadership can push a thriving civilization to the brink of destruction. The fall of Baghdad is not just a story from the past. It still reminds us of the importance of power, responsibility, and foresight. Conclusion. The fall of Baghdad in 1258 is a painful but real chapter in the history of Iraq. It proves that no matter how powerful knowledge, culture, and civilization are, they cannot survive without the right leadership and unity. The shadow of that history still remains on the soil of Iraq today. The memory of the once city of knowledge is buried under the rubble.